O Adonai, you are a shield around us, strong in love, heavy in power, expressed through hope, and gilded with truth. I will fear no evil, for you watch over us. You defend and deliver us. In this day, this hour, this moment, we put our trust in you. Amen. O living creator Adonai, we are yours. We wear the helmet of salvation and hope. We carry the shield of faith and your word. We hold the sword of the Spirit. We buckle the belt of your truth around our waist. We put on the breastplate of love and light, and we walk with boots of readiness and peace. I am, we are yours. Amen.
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 Heavenly Father, clear our hearts, our minds. Allow us to be channels of your will. Remove any ego and allow your presence to flow through us. Negate any negativity and allow those to receive us in love and in light. May your will be done in us and through us, so be it. Amen.
So be it.
Want to continue a conversation till we actually, or you just want to roll into the topic?
No, we
Let's
can
go ahead.
we can continue the conversation from what I was saying, but I think that we can I think we got a lot of good opportunity to make some positive changes. If that's what we're gonna be about. That's
Right.
what we're doing there, like let's do it.
I agree.
I-
Don't want to be one of, Sika, let me cut you off.
Yeah, go ahead.
Just don't want to be one of, a group or anyone it's a lot of people out here talking the good talk. That's all. It's a lot of people out here talking the good talk.
Right.
Hey.
You know what I'm saying?
Or doing it for self
Doing it for self, right?
or what have you.
So,
Yeah, man. So shalom, shalom, Shabbat shalom.
shalom, shalom,
Shalom,
Shabbat
Mark.
shalom.
Shalom, brethren, family.
Love and light.
Shmukah.
Yeah,
So,
man.
much love.
Got a good discussion lined up for today. And I want to say this might be the last one on the spheres of influence
Is
too.
it 7?
Yeah, I think we covered it because we did like two episodes, so that was like 4. Then we did one 2 last week, and then we did this one, which is the politics. Because we already touched on the religion, family,
Art, media,
right, media, entertainment,
entertainment,
and
government,
politics.
government.
Right,
We talked about. Only thing we didn't touch on was economics.
economics.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which will be this one.
Economic, business, faith, belief, education, family. Did we do family?
Yeah,
did
family
family?
was the first
Yeah,
one.
that was
Wow.
basically about one of the first ones.
That was the first
I
one.
think family,
Yeah, we did.
family and like religion was kind of like intertwined. So
Right.
So-
Education? Did we do education?
we
No.
did.
I think we did. I think a lot of that
Got kind
intertwined
of
with
melded.
Yeah,
Okay.
it did.
All right. If
family.
anybody, whenever you watch this video, you could hit us in the DM and say, no, you missed one.
Yeah.
And
I-
we'll,
Yeah, and also this week, to any of our family out there that's tuning in, we definitely want to welcome you in on the conversation.
yes.
So, if you got a comment, you want to chime in, put it in the DM, or we'll make it available for a little question and answer or something like that throughout the latter portion of the show. If you want to put your comments in on us
Right.
and share your viewpoints, but that's what we want.
Introduce yourself, young sir.
Yes. I'm Malak bin Adonai, one of
Yeah.
the hosts.
Kane. I'm Yazakar Ben Adonai.
And I'm Kazak Yah Ben Adonai. And welcome.
We are the
Right.
fourth principle.
Fourth principle. Facts.
So this week, as we get off into talking about economics, I'm gonna say off rip, this is probably one of the more sensitive topics in our community, because it's talking about wealth, money / currency, how we obtain these faculties, you know, and how they either make or cripple the economy. Well, let me not
Right.
say economy, but the community. Excuse me. So what's y'all thoughts on the you know, the economic condition for our community?
What part of like?
Any part that comes to your mind, because there's gonna be so much that you can talk about with this.
Wow.
But any part that comes to your mind, because it's all relevant.
So I know you did a lot of research on this. Do you understand the concept of when they say the dollar rotating in the community before it leaves the community? Do we
Yeah.
all understand that concept?
But go ahead and break it down
Right.
for those that may not.
I may not be the greatest to break it down,
I think you
but
do.
I know we had you know, certain African American communities like, you know, Rosewood, Tulsa, Oklahoma. I know it's a lot more than I could think of off the top of my head, where they said that the dollar in the community, meaning I go to a store that's owned by someone that looks like me, that lives in the community, that has relations with everybody in the community, and that same dollar will go get rotated, meaning it might get deposited in a bank.
Right.
Somebody might take a loan. Somebody may purchase more things with that same dollar. I forgot how many months they said it stayed in the community.
Right.
I think it
It's
was like
not
over
that
like up to a year, maybe 3 years.
Yeah.
Don't quote me on it. But what we're talking about is how the dollar rotates before it actually goes out and goes somewhere else throughout the
Right.
country, throughout, you know, another community, so on and so forth. I think that right now the state of that is null and void
For our community.
for our community.
Gotcha.
I mean, I'm sure there's communities out there that is still black owned businesses. But in ratio to what I want to say foreign nationals or other ethnic groups that come over and get grants for businesses. And I just watched a video recently where it was an Asian woman and she was saying that they don't get grants for businesses to open a business in like Caucasian or European neighborhoods. So what they do is they open them in a black neighborhood
Right.
or ethnic neighborhood. And of course, the money that they get, they take it home or they take it to their banks in their communities, and then it rotates that way. So immediately, once that money is spent in their business, whether it be a hair shop,
Nail
convenience store,
Right.
whatever business that is that they have,
Yeah, man.
they take.
Yeah,
but that's it in a nutshell.
Yeah. I think it influences our neighborhoods or our communities. But where it stands at today, I see a lot of, you know, like you say, the dollar don't stay in the community long enough. But it's a whole lot of dynamics in it, because when you're talking about a community, like I don't stay in a predominantly, yes I do. I kind of do stay in a
Yeah.
predominantly what they would call African American community. But there are also some other racial people
Ethnicities,
and
right.
ethnicities in there. And a lot of problem when we're talking about urban,
Right.
now I would say a lot of us
Mm-hmm.
have dispersed out. So
I was just thinking that.
So once we dispersed out amongst, you know, other neighborhoods or going out to the suburbs or going out into the country, but there's a lot of, you know, African
everywhere.
Americans. We're out there, but we don't have little stores there like we used to.
Right.
You know, now you bring in the big corporations
Mm-hmm.
of like Walmart and stuff like that. That kind of diminishes a lot of the
Convenience
the-
stores.
Yeah, the little convenience stores and stuff like that. And then on top of it, it's like it affects the bottom line of the community, because the community isn't unified
Right.
in keeping the money in the neighborhood
Right.
or in the community.
But the buying power raises annually.
Right.
You know what I mean? So like, you know, we put several thousand probably even several hundred thousands of dollars out of the community, but the circulation of currency within the community continues to stay at a deficit. You know what I mean? And if we ever get to a point where we do a comparative analysis of the wealth gap and an even distribution of what we have as currency in the community, it could be eye opening, or at least it should be eye opening, right? And I think like the last time I checked the census report, don't quote me on this, right? But I want to say there's probably about 47 million who reported and identified as either Black, African American, or Afro American.
Okay.
Right.
Based on the census. That's a lot. That's a lot. So, go ahead.
Let me ask you: was it a percentage of the whole nation of America, or was it just individual
Community.
places?
Well, that's what's reported in the U.S.
Okay, got you. Because I know a lot of metropolitan places have a lot of what they would call African American, or
the highest, what we would consider African American population is in D.C.
right.
Really?
That has the highest.
That's why they call it Chocolate City.
Right.
That's exactly why it's called Chocolate City, because those things that's what it is.
You know what I mean? So, I want to say the purpose of this discussion is really to, I would say let's stay solution based, right?
Okay.
As we identify some of these concepts, because I'm pretty I won't assume, but I'm gonna say just from the circle that I've entertained or had conversations with, we hear some of these aesthetics, when it comes to currency and stuff like that within our community, but nothing that really gains momentum in terms of solutions.
Okay. But we're definitely going to be bringing up some
Yes.
issue. Okay.
Yes.
So
Yes.
that being said, let's talk about like capitalism.
Okay, let's go.
Which is, I would like to say, the type of economics that is utilized in the U.S. or the West, right?
Okay.
This part of the West. First and foremost, I'm not saying all, but a lot of people was bought here as a form of capitalism. The transatlantic slave trade and things of that nature. And it starts there.
Right.
You know what I mean? A lot of your banks and entities were formed based on taking out insurance policies on chattel slavery and cargo.
Right.
So when you look at the dynamics, those slave owners or shareholders, however you look at it, they already had a head start on what we consider what leads up to modern day capitalism or the economic structure of the U.S. So when you fast forward a couple hundred years, and we have, Jim Crow and different things, let me back up a little bit. The abolishment, quote unquote, the abolishment of slavery. You had African Americans that went and started certain communities, right? And at the same time, you still had those who didn't know how to get out there and have, if you want to say, economic IQ.
Right.
So they went back to plantations as, was it sharecropping?
Right.
Sharecropping, so on and so forth. So you always had, I'm just going to limit it to two, I'm sure you could say more, frames of thought when it comes to so-called African Americans getting into economics. You had those who don't have the IQ, and then you have those that either learned or acquired the IQ.
Right.
And it seems like we live in a time where, you fast forward like another 100 years, it's kind of like